KREM 2 News begins now.
It's been a busy week for news across the inland Northwest. Let's get you caught up with the KREM 2 News Week in Review. I'm Tim Pham. Thanks for joining us here on KREM 2 Plus. Here now is a look at some of the biggest stories from this past week.
Yeah, well, I want to emphasize that all lanes have finally opened this evening. And right now, I'm right outside the 272 Medical Lake exit, outside this gas station where many truckers were rerouted earlier this morning after the collision because both westbound and eastbound lanes were closed.
Washington State Patrol said at about 8 a.m. the semi-truck that had both diesel and gasoline tanks on it began rotating and the cab of the truck hit a rock wall. This is dispatch audio between emergency responders from this morning.
Dispatch from 265 Command. It is a tanker truck.
The hillside, multiple trees are on fire.
The truck also hit some guardrails, and then moments later the tanks exploded in flames. Then the cab caught fire soon after.
A full vehicle and both tanks then caught fire. There were several explosions. It's unknown if it was speed as a factor or icy roads or maybe even a possible medical problem.
Many people on their morning commutes were stopped and forced to take back roads.
When I took the 264 exit, we were like at a standstill for most of it. So, and then coming into Cheney, I've never seen that much traffic in Cheney.
Another commuter told me it took 2 hours to drop their child off at school. Although WSP does not know the official cause of the collision yet, we do want to note the area of the collision had severe ice warnings up until about 11 a.m. this morning.
And from my phone call earlier with the Washington State Patrol, next of kin of the truck driver had not been alerted yet, so they were still waiting to identify the truck driver. Off of 272 Medical Lake exit, Regan Gallo, KREM 2.
At least 4 Mead football players have come forward saying they were assaulted and harassed by fellow teammates and that coaches and administrators did nothing to stop it. The initial assault happened back in the summer of 2023 at a football training camp out in Cheney at Eastern Washington University. Up until today, the district had insisted it did respond appropriately, but today that all changed.
Police records show a parent called EWU police in Cheney to report that a cell phone video showed a student being held down by multiple other teens and assaulted with a massage gun.
Sacrifice the most sacrifice.
Since then, more students have said it happened to them, more parents have reported their concerns, and multiple lawsuits have been filed against the district. This is the official report from the Mead district that was emailed to me this afternoon. It says Keith Stamps failed to appropriately respond to allegations of student misconduct and that he was dishonest with the district. In part, that report said his failure to inform district administrators about the allegations has had a detrimental effect on students, staff, programs, and the community. It goes on to say these allegations were left unaddressed for months, resulting in delayed Title IX investigations, delayed corrective measures for the aggressors, and delayed support for the victims, ultimately fueling a media firestorm, lawsuits, and calling into question the community's trust in the district. I spoke with the district spokesperson today. He told me Keith Stamps is no longer coaching or teaching with the Mead district based on probable cause to terminate his contracts. I'm told Stamps does have the right to appeal. They also told me today's decision came after another lawsuit was filed against the district in November that revealed a deleted email which included additional information and previously unreported allegations of student and staff misconduct within the football program. That included claims that students were held down while others used a massage gun, and that one of the coaches knew about it and reportedly told the students they were soft and that back in their day, we used a stick. The report concluded with Mead Superintendent Travis Hansen saying, based on the findings, Stamps' conduct is unprofessional, inappropriate, flagrant, egregious, based on substantial poor judgment, and a flagrant disregard of professional standards.
Now, I also spoke with a parent of one of the assault victims today. They told me they are at least glad to see the district is finally taking their concerns more seriously. If you would like to watch more of our exclusive coverage and interviews on this KREM 2 investigation, just go to KREM.com.
Right now, the Spokane Braves hockey team practice is in full swing. Here at the Eagles Ice Arena, the team is hoping to fill all of these seats for their game on December 21st. That's because it is a benefit game for the Carollo family, meaning $5 of every ticket sold for that game will be donated directly to the Carollo family.
Last month, 5-year-old Amelia died in a head-on crash near Elmira. Her mother Amanda and 7-year-old brother Patrick suffered critical injuries and were taken to the hospital. They were on their way to Patrick's hockey tournament in Canada, but never made it. The Spokane Braves hope the Carollo family benefit game on December 21st will have a big turnout to raise money in honor of Amelia and in support of her family. Team captain Cameron Oyen says the Braves are proud to host something that's bigger than themselves.
Anytime you hear of a tragedy like this happening anywhere, but especially in the hockey community, it hits home.
Assistant coach Jason Greenwell says it will be more than just a hockey game. It will be about the community coming together for a good cause.
We would love to see, as many people here and maybe sell the place out, which would be awesome, and, really show that support. And I know from me and just everyone here at Eagles Ice Arena, we can't thank the community enough for what they've done for this family.
The Carollo family says Patrick has been released from the hospital and is with his grandparents recovering. His mother Amanda is expected to be released from the hospital this week, but she still has a long road to a full recovery.
Idaho State Police are still investigating this fatal crash, and at this point they tell me no charges have been filed. Now, in the meantime, they are asking the public to share any photos or videos of that crash to help in the investigation. We have their contact information posted on KREM.com. Reporting from the Eagles Ice Arena, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Welcome back to the KREM 2 News Weekend Review. I'm Tim Pham. Let's get back now to some of the biggest news stories from the Inland Northwest this past week.
The resolution the council voted on is asking the Department of Natural Resources to wait 180 days before selling the land to Bloom Fern Development out of Redmond for millions of dollars. Many who spoke Monday night say the decision threatens wildlife and needs more time before anything new is done to it. Jeff Lambert's an environmental scientist consulting on conservation issues within the Latah Valley, something Spokane City Council's passionate about.
That the City Council appreciates the value of the Thorpe property.
Home building company Blue Fern Development also sees the value of the nearly 200 acres of land owned by DNR located near West Thorpe Road. If the purchase goes through, the Redmond company plans to build nearly 1,000 homes there, with land set aside for parks, fire stations, and civic centers.
As we've heard through our process on our other project, a lot of these things are needed in Latah Valley.
Blue Fern CEO Benjamin Paulus advocates the purchase, calling it a good resource for the community. But Spokane City Council members aren't exactly keen about it.
Looking at the animal tracks and really recognizing that this is a wildlife corridor.
And they weren't the only ones. Several people, including Lambert, stated the land shouldn't be used for the project.
The natural characteristics make it perfect for nature education.
Council voted 5-2 in support of the delay, saying more time should be spent figuring out the best way to use the land. A public comment meeting scheduled for this Wednesday at the Spokane Central Library. There, people can directly tell DNR their opinions on the matter. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
I'm standing in the Spokane County Sheriff's Office new real-time crime center. It's the first of its kind in Washington state, and the cutting-edge technology used here is expected to improve public safety throughout the county.
Welcome to the future of public safety and crime prevention. Each of these monitors are providing real-time, actionable information for deputies, investigators, and law enforcement partners.
If there's a fight going on right there, I can zoom in and get descriptions of the subjects involved.
Amanda Vandenberg is one of 3 tactical analysts working behind the scenes to monitor and analyze information coming into the real-time crime center. Flock is a license plate reading system that alerts RTCC and deputies when a vehicle of interest was spotted. The center also uses its mobile camera systems, which are retired patrol cars with cameras mounted on top.
I really enjoy the camera work. We'll look at the closed calls and the recent reports, see an area that has a higher crime instance, and move those mobile cameras out there, and it's just exciting to see the effect that they have on the crime in that area.
Sheriff John Knowles says the workflow between emergency dispatch and the real-time crime center will remain the same, but real-time crime center staff have more resources at their fingertips.
The members of the real-time crime center have access to a few more databases, but also have more time to dig a little bit deeper than, say, what a dispatcher previously used to be capable of.
The RTCC can also integrate security camera feeds from local businesses into their system upon permission, something the sheriff believes will change how deputies fight crime.
This will be something that we will look back 10 years from now and say, how did we ever do policing without it?
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Spokane County Sheriff's deputies were alerted about a stolen Dodge Durango from the Dallas-Fort Worth airport with Florida license plates. Deputies say they were able to spot the car due to multiple databases the new crime center patches into. KREM 2 spoke with Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles on the piece of technology.
The members of the real-time crime center have access to a few more databases, but also have more time to dig a little bit deeper than, say, what a dispatcher previously used to be capable of.
Deputies found the vehicle at the 2300 block of North Argonne Road and arrested 33-year-old driver Mogan A. Jewell. Jewell admitted to deputies she rented the car back in October in Dallas, Texas, and was supposed to have it for one day. She says she tried to call the rental car company for an extension, but says she was unsuccessful. Deputies say the rental company is looking to press charges. Jewell is booked into Spokane County Jail for theft of a motor vehicle. It's a result of a new system the sheriff wants to see grow.
This will be something that we will look back 10 years from now and say, how did we ever do policing without it?
Step up to the bar at Wave Sushi and you're sure to be greeted by delightful, deliciously decorated creations. A feast for the eyes. Owner Sarah Shore brings to every corner of her downtown restaurant. Though what happens outside her windows is another matter.
It's not necessarily crimes, like I'm not being personally attacked. The business is not being, broken into every day, but it's just what we have to look at every day when we come downtown.
Trash, drugs, people sleeping in her window wells. It's driven Shore to call police more and more. And she says more and more, it's driving customers away.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing slower months than we have ever seen here at the Wave. In all of the sales data I have, the past 2 years and previously, it's scary.
The not so pretty picture also painted by data, Police Chief Kevin Hall told City Council Monday.
We are on this hamster wheel, both with enforcement and with services.
In October, extra officers were placed downtown for a month as part of the CORE pilot program. It focused on crime hotspots, a core focus area that only accounts for 0.5% of Spokane's total footprint.
However, it represents 38% of reported drug offenses and 25% of trespassing offenses.
About 70% of Spokane's drug offenses happen in the downtown precinct, Hall said. But during the 30-day pilot of 190 police contacts, only 13 people accepted treatment.
So not the success we wanted to see in service referrals, but we are still attempting, as we've said in the past, with a very treatment-resistant population.
I wish as a city we had some sort of plan of what do we do with these people?
Shore says police respond quickly to her calls, but she's frustrated they don't seem able to do anything except ask some people to move along.
They need somewhere that's not the ER and it's not the jail. We need a third place, and that's the place that we're having conversations about.
So while those talks continue, Shore says she and other businesses are just waiting to see real change.
At this point, right this moment, there's no end in sight because nothing has changed. There isn't, something's got to give for it to get better.
Since time immemorial, the Spokane tribe has called this region home. But just 70 years ago, a major discovery left the face of this landscape changed forever.
The mine was here before I was born. We grew up with it. You just didn't really pay attention. It was here. It was just part of the landscape, essentially.
In 1954, twin brothers Jim and John LeBret struck atomic age gold, uranium. The brothers then went forward and started Midnite Mine. Over the next 10 years, the mine would go on to produce 5.3 million pounds of proto-ore. and leave a slew of environmental issues for the Spokane people in its wake.
It's hard to fathom, to think a mineral is worth someone's life. But when you're in an industry that destroys our mother, nature, that's the cost.
The mine consisted of 4 open pits, but by 1979, Dawn Mining Company faced issues with water runoff and accumulation of a radioactive slurry in these pits. A pond was constructed to hold this toxic water, but it wasn't enough.
The Spokane tribe, like other tribes in the United States, understand water is life. Not just a saying, but true, to understand that and to feel it spiritually as a culture in your tradition and your understanding of what all of this is about, that's the bottom line.
In a 2010 assessment, the Federal Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry classified activities using waters from the nearby Blue Creek drainage as a public health hazard.
So that's why the Spokane Tribe of Indians challenged ourselves, because we have to meet it, to have the highest water quality standards in the nation.
But Blue Creek has been a popular swimming, fishing, and recreational spot for many in the Spokane tribe, including Ricky Sherwood.
Just on the other side of this hill over there, there's the Blue Creek campground. We grew up swimming and it was kind of our spot. Every summer, this was just kind of where we would go.
Now, all along Blue Creek, signs warn visitors of the invisible danger.
To be safe, we posted those signs.
Linda Meyer is the remedial project manager for the Midnite Mine Superfund site and has overseen this cleanup effort throughout its progress.
Once we do the cleanup and investigate the sediments and feel comfortable we've removed, that the sediments meet the cleanup standard, we should be able to take those signs down.
But cleanup efforts over the years have already made a huge impact on the area.
Pit 3, here's what it looked like early this season. Later, mid-season, we've dewatered that pit and removed the contaminated sediments from the bottom and are now placing a geomembrane and then starting to install the well that water will be collected and pumped out of this.
Warren Saylor has been speaking on this issue since 1990. But before he was working on the cleanup effort,
I was a prober. I was deep in the pit, the bottom of the pit. That stuff was so black. I'd stick the probe on those rocks and that meter would just sink out of sight.
Almost all of the original miners were members of the Spokane tribe, and the Midnite Mine provided one of the only industry jobs on the reservation.
The thing about the mine, people kind of fail to understand when they say, why would you go there? You have to feed your family. I got kids, only job on the reservation, only job for 50 miles, 60 miles around, because nobody was going to hire an Indian in those days to work at that mine to feed my family. I'd went.
That decision was one that many on the reservation faced.
My dad did a lot of work up at the mine. As a young guy, he was in his 20s. I was just a little guy. I think when it closed, I was like 8 years old. They made the decision back then that they had to make, but it was an everlasting, impact on the environment and the people.
43 years have passed since the mine shut down, and now the question remains.
Do you think people will be able to, take from the land again, like they used to without any worry that, this could be harmful to me?
I think that's something that we're striving for. I think we'll know in time.
As for the cleanup's completion,
well, I believe it'll be completed within 5 years, but I'm not in a rush. I want it done right. I don't care if it takes another 8 or 10 years. It has to be done right. We're hoping that someday, it might be 50 or 100 years from now, there'll be no scarring. We'll have put Mother back the way they first found her before that first shovel went in the ground. Because you always learn from the past.
Aiden Brown.
To make a better future.
KREM 2 News.
Officials say that these green bins are part of a new normal that the city is preparing for. Starting in the new year, the city says green food and yard waste bin removal will now be available for Spokane residents to opt into for January, February, and December of 2025. The city tells us this is something many residents have long asked for.
First and foremost, we just want people to be really conscientious about what they're tossing. So, those food scraps, is there another use for them? Do we overbuy at the store? Do we overcook?
But I am told this is a larger push for Spokane looking towards the future. By 2030, the city says state law will require all residents to participate in yard and food waste removal in efforts to create a cleaner city.
It also is a good preparation for what we're going to have to move towards because of, state laws, and that will be reducing our amount of organic waste in our trash system.
The waste will be picked up the first full week of each month and will be composted by Bar Tech Composting.
311 is the best way to get that service started. Just give us a call or do it on our mobile app.
Right now, the cost for the green bins are about $20 for a 9-month service. Starting in the new year with the new change, the cost will actually go down to $18 for a 12-month service. In Spokane, Regan Gallo, KREM 2.
All right, it is the first day of Christmas Tree Elegance. I mean, come on, get into this. It's hard not to get into the Christmas spirit when you're here. Historic Davenport, you see all these beautiful trees such as this one. This one is really intriguing because not only can you win a TV, you can win an Xbox, you can win a vacuum. I'm a big vacuum kind of guy, to believe it or not, right? That actually brings me some type of joy. And so we're walking around the Christmas trees. I'm fully into that spirit. So what's cool about the Christmas Tree Elegance too, all you need is a $1 raffle ticket. You can come down here to the historic Davenport, get you a $1 raffle ticket, and you could potentially win one of these beautiful trees. We're walking, we're talking, we're taking a look at all of these. Look at this. This has got that lilac purple vibe right there. It represents the city of Spokane. Excellent. I really like this one too, though. Check this one out. This one rotates, and a lot of these trees, they come with all types of different things, right? This one is nice and simple. You can win stuff like maybe a staycation here at the Davenport. You can win all types of gift cards, things of that nature. So you may not necessarily need a big truck or something to transport this one. Maybe just, pop it on top of, I don't know, actually. Don't let me give you any bad advice. But this is only a little bit of it because there's 15 trees. 9 of them are here at the historic Davenport. And then come with us over to River Park Square, and we'll show you the other ones over there as well. Well, we were at the historic Davenport. We're here at River Park Square now, just as beautiful. So look, come on, walk and talk with me really quick. We got the blues, Christmas. If you feel like you're more of a musically inclined type of person, this may be the one. We've got people walking out of the way. I'm sorry, I'm in your way now. They're going out and enjoying their day. But nonetheless, man, there's a lot of good stuff here. Christmas Tree Elegance kicks off today until December 15th. So you have an opportunity. Unfortunately, I would dive on this, but I think that'd be frowned upon, but it looks like a gorgeous couch. It's called Christmas in the Neighborhood. This is tree number 11, and you can get all of this. All of this could be yours. I feel like I'm on The Price is Right now. And then check this out. You've got another one down here. There's just so many beautiful. So you have 9 at the historic Davenport. You've got 6 over here that you could possibly get and possibly, take this to your house. Hey, wait, Nate, if we can pan down here for the Coca-Cola really quick. I am really fascinated by this one right here because that just looks like something I would like to have maybe in a man cave or something along those lines. Okay, this is one I really want to show you over here too really quick. This is the cash tree. This is the cash tree over here. So apparently this one right here is going to be a big deal. A lot of people are going to be wanting this one. So maybe you got to get out here early or get over here maybe on the 15th or so. But nonetheless, lots of beautiful trees here at not only the historic Davenport, but River Park Square as well. I've done enough talking though. So for now, reporting here at River Park Square, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 Plus. For the KREM 2 News Weekend Review, remember, you can always watch our latest newscast and weather forecast right here on KREM 2 Plus. Just click on the video in the bottom navigation menu. I'm Tim Pham. Thanks for watching.